Okay, today we are going to discuss about file handling. How we can handle the files. File handling. Okay, how we can handle the files in Java applications. Okay, how we can handle the files means how we can create files, how we can create folders, how we can create a file inside a specific folder, and how we can write some data into the file, how we can fetch some data from the file, or how we can write some data into some image files, non-character files. There are several non-character files like video files and any files or image files. How we can write some data into such kind of non-character files, and how we can fetch the data from non-character files. Okay, after this basic file operations, we will discuss two specific concepts: serialization and externalization. Okay, this is the fun of this file handling. Let's start with the basic operations. Okay, first, in order to create a file or in order to create a folder or in order to do anything with file system in Java, in order to do anything with file system in Java, okay, the base class is file. File is a class which is used to access a file in Java. And this file is a class in java.io package. IO means input output. Input output. Okay, in general in Java this file handling operations are called as IO operations. Inputting some content into the file, outputting the content from the file. So this file handling operations in general in Java we call them as IO operations. If any interviewer asks you like, do you know IO operations or do you have used IO operations in your project? Yes, something like file handling operations. So even the package structure is java.io. Okay, like collections present in java.util package, we have all the file related entities in java.io package. So do we need to import them? Do we need to import them explicitly? Yes. Okay. Whatever the entities other than java.line package or current package, we should import them. Okay. Entities other than java.line package and current package should be imported. So let me write a simple class which demonstrates the file. Let me go for package okay. Now let me save this in specific path. Just I'm creating SRC, I'm creating com HCU IO demo. Okay, in SRC I have created the exact package com HCU IO demo. Okay, and in this package structure let me save this class, save the .java file. Okay, and then okay, now we have a specific .java file for IO operations. Now let me try to, the first operation is how to access a file, how to access a file in Java applications. You have to access a file in Java applications, we use a file object, file class object. The file class is used to access the file in the Java application. The file class is used to access a file in a Java application. So since file class is present in other packages, let me import that. And to the file class constructor, okay, we give the path of the file as an input. Just we give the path of the file as an input. Let me go for E drive and let me create. Otherwise, let me try to create a file in the current location. Hello.txt. Just I have gone for a new file object, that's it. Okay. Now once we have gone for a new file object based on a path of the file, okay, if you don't give any specific path, if you just give the file name, you don't give any specific path but just the file name, then what happens is, okay, the runtime environment will try to refer the file in the current location. Now from where we execute the application? In general, from where we execute the application? From which folder structure we execute the application? Do we execute the application from the source? Yeah. Classes, right? So it will try to refer that file in the classes folder. Okay, so the execution environment will refer the file system in the classes folder. Okay, now just to verify whether the file exists or not, to verify whether the file exists or not, we use the method exists in the file object. Exists true means the file already exists in that specific path. Exists false means the file doesn't exist in that path. Okay, and let us see. Exists method of the file object will return true if a file exists with a specific path, otherwise false. Okay, now compile. What are the classes? What is this key? False. Just because if you see the classes folder, is the file hello.txt exists? No. Let me create a new file. Hello.txt. Okay. Now let us see. Is the file exists? What is the flag that is written by is exists? True. That means if the file exists in the specific location. Okay. Now by default it will look for the location from where we are executing the application. From where we are executing the application means from the classes folder. So in the current folder it will look for, in the classes folder it will look for hello.txt. But even we can specify the exact path of the file. That we'll discuss later. But by default, if we don't refer any path, if we just refer the file name, then it will look for the file in the current location. Current location in the sense from where we are executing the application. Understood? Okay, now let me delete the file. Okay, again it will return false. Okay, since the file doesn't exist in that location. Okay, now what my requirement is, I need to create the file. Okay, now we have seen how to refer a file in a Java application. Now let us see how to refer a file with a specific path rather than referring the current location. Rather than referring in the current location, let us see how to refer a file in a specific path. Now let me create files okay, files. Now how I can refer that? How I can refer this location? Please fetch the file in files folder. Okay, so the drive name colon / the path. The drive name colon / the folder structures and the file name. Understood? Now let us see by compiling and executing the application. Would you say compile the application? What are the classes? Execute application. Is a file exists in that location? E files? No. So let me create a file. Okay, and now it is true just because the file exists in that location. Okay, now let me copy the path here. Let me copy the path here. Okay, is colon files in the folder address bar. Now how it is? How it is in the folder address bar? E colon backslash files. Okay, now let me try to access like that using backslash. Okay, let me access the same thing using backslash. Earlier I used earlier I used forward slashes. Now I'll use backslash. Okay, let us see what it makes a difference. Okay, in file handling in Java. What is it telling? Illegal space character. Okay, a forward slash is allowed in a string. In a string, a forward slash is allowed directly. In a string, a forward slash is allowed directly. Okay, but a backslash is not allowed directly in a string. A backslash is not allowed directly in a string. A backslash should be supported by another backslash. A backslash should be supported by another backslash. So, in a string, if you want to give backslash, only with single backslash is not valid. We should give double backslash. Like this. In a strings, a single backslash is not allowed, a double backslash should be given. Understood? If you want to give, we can give forward slash. A single forward slash is enough. If you want to give backslashes in the file path, then we should give double backslash. Okay? Either one forward slash between the path or double backslash. Either way is fine, but in general we go for forward slash while representing the files inside Java application. In general we go for a forward slash to represent the file system in Java application. Just because if you go for double backslashes, if the path of the file is little bit big, it will look weird. Double backslash and double backslash and double backslash. So, in general, the preferred one is forward slash. But if you want to give a backslash in the file name, yes, we can give, but the backslash should be joined by another backslash, a double backslash. Okay? So, now this is a valid case. Okay? Go to the classes folder, execute application. So it will be able to access the file system. Okay? This is how we can access a specific file in a specific path, not in the current path. Okay? The best way is going for forward slash. Okay? Now let's consider that the file doesn't exist in the specific folder. File doesn't exist in the specific folder. Now, how we can we have seen how to access a file in the current folder as well as in a specific folder. But now we will see how to create a file in a specific folder. We have seen how to access a file, but now we will see how to create a file in a specific location. Okay? Let us see how to create a file. Now to create a file, please don't write now. Just we'll finalize the things and then you can write. Okay? Just listen now. First, you have to create a file. We use a method create new file. Create new file. Okay? Create new file is a method of the file class which is used to create a new file in a Java application. Okay? Now let us see. Let me delete the file. Yes, already this is deleted. So let me try to create a file in that location. But create new file method will raise a checked exception, which is IO exception. The calling statement of create new file will raise a checked exception, okay, which is IO exception. The calling statement of create new file will raise a checked exception, which is IO exception. So you have to compile this. We should put it in a try catch. Okay? This I am executing print stack trace just to print what is the stack traces of the exception. Okay? Now let us see. Let me compile the application. Now, even IO exception is a class that exists in java.io package. So we need to import even IO exception. Even IO exception is a class in java.io package. So we need to import even that. Okay? Now the application was compiled. Go to the classes, execute the application. Now let us see. Is the file created? Yes or no? Yes. Now let me delete the file. The file doesn't exist in that location. Okay? Now let me execute the application. Now is the file created? Now is the file created through the Java application? Yes. Now from the Java application, how we can create a file? Using the method create new file. And create new file method will raise a checked exception, IO exception, which is there in java.io package. Okay? So we surround it by try catch. Okay? And let's consider like the file already exists. And the create new file method return type is boolean. The create new file method return type is boolean. This is output system.out.println. Whether the file is created or not. Okay? Now let us see. Understood what I have done? Just it will return the boolean flag whether the file is created now in the application or not. Okay? Now let me try to compile the application. Go to the classes, execute the application. Now file created is false. Why the file created false means already file exists in the specific location. Now let me delete the file. Okay, let me delete the file and execute the application. File created is true just because the file doesn't exist in that location. If the file doesn't exist in the path, then create new file will create a new file. If the file already exists in the path, then it will not create a new file. Okay? Create new file method will create a new file only when the file doesn't exist in the specific path. Okay. Now you can write the application if you want to note it down.
So if your location is specified and the file is also not specified, then should the file create that appropriate?
Good question. Just note it down now. Later on, I'll explain that after that.
It will not override the existing file.
Hmm.
It will override.
No, no, it will not override the existing file. Existing file cannot be deleted. Okay, if your requirement is to delete the existing file and create a new file, no, create new file will not do that. Create new file, what it will do? First, it will check whether the file exists in that location or not. How it checks means internal to use exist method only. First, it will check whether the file exists. If the file doesn't exist, then what it will do? It will create a new file. Got it? Now, let's see. Now we have in this application, we have C drive, E drive, F drive, D drive, and H drive. Let's consider that we have given some X drive which doesn't exist in the application, which is impossible. This file path is impossible in the application. Okay? Now, let us see what happens. Okay? If you give a path which doesn't exist, which cannot be existed, okay? The compiler will not throw any compile time error just because string is any string. Any string is the same for compiler. But actually the runtime environment only can recognize the content of the string. Okay? So the compiler will not give any compile time error. Go to the classes if you execute the application. What is giving? What is giving? What is the exception that is raised at the runtime? What is the exception that is raised at the runtime? IO exception. Okay, in case of create new file, IO exception will be arised when the path of the file is invalid. Okay, if the path of the file is invalid, then it will give a IO exception. It will throw a IO exception at the runtime. Okay, even if you give space, it's the same. The path of the file will be invalid. Even if you give the file name as blank, it's the same. If the valid, there is only two criteria: whether the file path is valid or invalid. Any invalid path, any invalid file path will give a IO exception. Any invalid file path will give IO exception. Okay. Now, to get the size of the file, there is a method size. To get the size of the file, the method is size. To get the size of the file, the method is size. Now let me see. In this specific location we have hello.txt. Let me give some content in the file. Okay, let me give some content in the file and let us see how the size is. Size, not size, sorry. I think it is length. Yes, it's not size, it's length. Length, the method of the file will give the size of the file. It's not size, it is length. It's a bit confusing. It's not the size method, it is the length method. Now, what's giving? 8. Now, what is the, in the memory, what is the memory occupied by a single character? In the memory, what is the size occupied by a single character? 1 byte. 1 byte for each and every character. 2 bytes for integer. 4 bytes for a float. Like that it will be. So 1 byte for each and every character. What are the number of characters RAVI in the array? 8 characters. Means 8 bytes of memory will be occupied by this file. Okay. Now for a character file. This is a character file, right? This is a text file, character file. Okay. For a character file, can we tell that the size of the file is equal to the number of characters present in the file? Yes or no? Yes. For a text file or for a character file, the size of the file will be equal to the number of characters present in the file. For a text file or for a character file, okay, the size of the file will be equal to the number of characters present in the file. Now here in this file 8 characters are present. Even space is also considered to be a character. Now I have some multiple spaces, 5 or 10 spaces. Now even space also will be considered to be a character. So now it is 20, just because I have given some 12 spaces here. Okay, even space, even enter. Okay, I have encountered enter. Let us see. It's 22. Just because even new line character /n will be considered a character. Okay. The new line as well as a space will be considered a character in the file system. Understood? Now, there is a method is read only. Just please don't write. I'll tell read only OS capital.
And then before at least can be done and
No, there will be something for it only. I think this can read. Can read method just will specify whether we can read the content of the file or not, and can write method will specify whether we can write the content into the file system or not. Okay, can read will specify whether we can read the content from the file system or not. Can write method will specify whether we can write the content to the file system or not. And is hidden will specify whether the file is a hidden file or not. All these are boolean values. All these methods return boolean values. Can read specifies whether we can read the content from the file system or not. Can write will specify whether we can write the content to the file system or not. Is hidden will specify whether the file is a hidden file or visible file. Okay, now let us see. Now, first is can read is true. Can write is also true. Is hidden is false. By default, there are no restrictions. There will not be any restriction for a file. We can read the content from the file as well as we can write the content to a file. By default, a file doesn't have any restrictions. We can read as well as write the content to a file system. But we can put such kind of restrictions that using set read only. Set read only. Okay, so that this file is only a read only file. Now the second one, can write is What is the first one? Can read. Second one is can write. Third one is hidden. Now, what is the first flag? True. Just because we can read the content from the read-only file. But can write is false. Just because we cannot write the content to the read-only file. Okay, is hidden is also false. Understood? How we can make a file as read-only file in a Java application? Just execute the method set read-only. The method set read-only will be used to make a file as a read-only file. Now, let me create a new file. Hi.txt. Let me create a new file, hi.txt. Okay, I am setting the file as read-only file. Okay, now what is this flag here? Is file created, will it be true or false? Is file created flag, will it be true or false now? True. Why means? Now in this location, in if files, hi.txt doesn't exist. Okay, that's why it will create a new file and this file created flag will be true. Okay, now let us see by compiling and go to the classes, execute application. This file created is true. Now we have a new file created. Okay, I'm trying to modify the content of hi.txt and save the application. What it is doing? It's asking where I need to save the file. But is it asking the same for hello.txt if I modify the content? Hello.txt is also a read-only file that we have set. Now let me create another file from the Java application which is named as test.txt. Okay, now I won't set test.txt as read-only. I won't set test.txt as read-only. It will be a normal file. Okay, now let me compile and execute the application. Test.txt is created. Now let me open test.txt. Let me open test.txt and modify the content of the file. Now let me save. Is it asking for a new file location? Just because it's not a read-only file, we can write the content into the file. But if you modify the content of hi.txt and save it, what it is doing? It's asking for the location where I need to save the file. Why? Because we cannot change the current context of or the content of hi.txt, which is the current file, which is a read-only file. So it is asking for the location where I need to save the file location. Let me save hi.txt. Hi.txt is read-only. It's telling that hi.txt is read-only file, so we cannot modify the content of the file. Okay, so that's how we can create a read-only file from a Java application. Create a normal file using the file object and use the method set read-only, so that this will be a read-only file. Understood? If you try to modify the content, then the operating system will give you an error that you cannot write the content in the file, you can read only the file. Okay? And please don't write. Okay, mkdir method of the file class will be used to create a folder. Mkdir method of the file class will be used to create a folder. And usdir method dir means directory here. I told many times that in software application we should call folder as directory, not a folder, directory. So whenever we are representing a folder in software applications, we should call it as directory. mkdir means make directory. Usdir means is a directory, is a folder or a file system. Okay, and there is another method is file. Is file method will return true if it is a file. If the path is representing a file system, then is file will be true. If the path is representing a folder structure, then is file will be false and is dir will be true. The path can be a folder structure or a file system. If the path is representing a folder structure, then is dir will be true. If the path is representing a file system, then is file will be true. mkdir is used to create a new directory. Usdir is used to verify whether the path that we represent is a file or a folder. Okay, if it is a folder, then usdir will be true. If it is a file, then is file will be true. Now, is there any chance both are true? Is there any chance that both are true? No, either it can be a file or a folder, but not the both. So, if usdir is true means is file will be false. If is file is true means usdir will be false. Is dir. Is directory, not dir. Is directory. Just modify that. It's not is dir.
The dir not
Huh?
dir not indirectly will be used.
Sorry. Okay, now I'm representing is directory. Just because I'm representing this path, I'm verifying whether this path is a file or a directory. Now f dot is directory method will return false. Now let me do the same thing for dir. Now dir dot is directory will return true or false. See, what is dir? To which object dir is referring to? A file object. Whose path is this? Now is this a path of the file system or a directory? Directory. Now is directory will be return true. Is file will return false. Okay. So let me try to. It's not is dir. It is directory. Put everything. So what happened? It's created a new folder structure. In the files location, it has created a new folder structure ABC. Okay. Now was that earlier exist? Now this doesn't exist. Okay. Now if I execute the application, what happened? It's created a new folder. Why is creating a new folder? We are executing the method mkdir. The method mkdir will create a new folder. Okay. Now dir.is directory will verify whether it is a directory or not. Now just if we compare the outputs with the first one, can read is true, can write is false, just because we have already said it is a read only file. Okay. And is hidden is false. Is directory, sorry. And the next one, is directory is false, just because f is a file system. To which path f is referring to? Test.txt. So f dot is directory is false. F dot is file is true, just because it is a file system. Text.txt is representing a file system. Next thing, dir dot is directory is true, just because dir is representing to a directory system. Dir dot is file is false, just because dir is representing to a directory, not a file, not a particular file. Understood? Understood? How the methods of the file will be useful? These methods, these flag methods, true or false methods, will be used for a specific condition. Now, before writing some content into the file, we will check whether the file can be written or not, or can write is true or not. Okay? If the can write is true, then only we will write the content into the file. If can write is true, like this, let's consider that if you want to write some content in the file, first we will check. If can write, then only write the content into the file. Just because if it is only a read-only file, we cannot write the content into the file and throw exceptions. Rather than throwing exceptions and catching them, what we will do? First we will check the condition, whether we can write the content in the file or not. Understood? It's how it will be. We can use the specific methods. Now, if we may, even we can make a directory also as read only. Now, let me make directory as read only. Now it is a read only directory. Okay, we cannot create any files in the system. Now let us see. Now let me delete the existing folder ABC. Okay. Now let me try to Go for SRC, compile application. Sorry, set read only, not read only. Is set read only. Let me try to compile application. It was compiled. Go to the classes, execute the application. Now I have set directory as read only. Okay. Now if you see here, new directory is created, which is ABC. Okay. Now let me try to create a file. Is it saved? Yes. What does it mean read only for a directory now? Cannot we create a new folder? I'm not sure why it is not working, but for file system it is working perfect. We try to save the content of the file, it's asking for a new location, but I'm not sure whether it will work for directory or not. Okay, as per this, it is not working for directory. We have made that we have created a new file, sorry, new directory, where we have made it as read only, but we could able to create a new folder in that directory as well as new file in that directory. Okay, but directory, I'm not sure whether read only will work or not. We'll see it later on. Okay, but it's not that much important. Read only file is a realistic scenario, but read only directory is a very less realistic scenario. Okay. Then to get the path of the file, just shall I remove all these things? Okay. To get the path of the file, we execute the method get path. Get path. Sorry. No need to go for directory now. Now f.get path will give the path of the file. Path of the directory. Now, if I have given you a file object, the JV asks you this question: if I have given you a file object, how you can find that the file object is representing a file or a directory? If I have given you a file object, how you can come to know whether that file object is referring to a file system or a folder system? Using method isFile and isDirectory. IsFile returns true if it is a file system. IsDirectory will return true if it is a directory system. Okay. Now, just the get path method will return a string which is the path of the file system that we are referring. The get path method will return the path of, will return a string. The return type of get path is a string. The string represents the path of the file system that we are referring to. the path of the file system that we are referring to. So now it is giving the path. Now let us see in the classes folder. Let me create a new file. HCU.txt. Let me write some content in the HCU.txt. Hello. Let me save the content. Let me close it. Now in the current location there is a HCU.txt. Okay. Now let me represent Now we'll give true or false. Now this is the classes folder where there is a HCU.txt. Okay. Now the second one, will it give true or false? Understood my question? See, here in the classes folder we have a file HCU.txt with some content. Okay. Now in the classes folder, if there is a HCU.txt with some content, now this will return true or false. True, just because by default, okay, if the directory structure is not given in the path, the directory structure, sorry, F1 and F2, right? F1, F1. Okay, but if the directory structure is not given in the path, okay, the directory structure is not given in the path, it will verify for the file in the current folder, current location. Now, if I give get path on F2, okay, if I give get path on F2, what it is giving? Is it giving the whole folder structure or just the file name? It's giving the file name. It will give the file name only it will give only the file name which exists in the correct location. But how we can, what we know, while executing, the user doesn't know in which location the file name is. Okay, let's consider like I am developing some application and I am putting it on the browser. If I am entering some details of the browser, I don't know from where exactly the application is being executed. The application is being executed from Mumbai location or from Chennai location in some X system or Y system. We develop application, we deploy application in a server, but we don't know where the server is, in which location the file system is. So, to get the exact absolute path of the file system, to get the absolute path of the file system, okay, there is another method, get absolute path. Now, what is absolute path? What is absolute path? What is absolute path? Along with the drive. If the path of any file system is represented along with the drive, then it is a absolute path. Now let me compile the application, go to the classes, execute application. Now it is a normal path. It is a normal path how we have represented the file object. But this is the absolute path of the specific file location. Understood the difference between get path and get absolute path? The get path will give the location that is specified while creating the file object. While creating the file object, what is the path that we have specified? We have just given hcu.txt. Okay, the get path will return the path that we have given to represent the file. Okay, so that the get path for e files text, if we see the get path for f1, what it is giving? E files slash test.txt. Why it is giving e files slash test.txt means while creating the file object we have given that path itself, and the get path of hcu.txt f2 has given as hcu.txt. Why? Because while creating the file object we have given that path itself. But for the same file system, if we execute get absolute path, what happens? It will give the absolute path along with the drive name, irrespective how we have created the file object. What is the path that we have, irrespective of the path that we have given while creating the file object, the get absolute path will return the absolute path of the file along with the drive. Understood? The get path method will return a string, okay, what we have given while creating the file system, file object. While creating the file object we have given some path. That path will be returned by get path. Get absolute path will return the exact absolute path of the file system. We may give only the file name, or we may give the absolute path while creating the file object. That's irrespective. Get absolute path will return always the absolute path. The get path will return, okay, the path that we have provided while creating the file object. Understood? Get path method will return the path that we have provided while creating the file object. Get absolute path will return the absolute path of the file location. The absolute path of the file location.
Is there any more constructor file constructor in the file?
No. And a file constructor can even take two arguments. Now I am going for e files hcu admin, and I am creating a new file hcu.txt. We can create a file even like this. Okay. Now first we are representing the directory structure. As a second argument we are giving the file name. If there are two arguments, then the first argument is considered to be the directory structure. The second argument is considered to be the file name. We can give a single argument or two arguments. If we give two string arguments to while creating a file object, if we give two arguments, then the first argument is considered to be a directory structure. Second argument is considered to be the file name. If we give single argument, then it will consider it as a path of the file. If we give only one argument, then the runtime environment will consider this as a path of the file. But if we give two string arguments, then the first argument is considered to be the folder structure, the directory structure. and the second argument is considered to be the name of the file. Now go for F2 dot create new file. That's it. Now let's just see. Go to the SRC, compile the application, go to the classes, execute the application. What's giving? The system cannot find the path specified. Okay? Why the system could not able to find the path specified? The system is telling that could not able to find the path specified. Why it is telling that I could not able to find the path specified? Just because this structure E files HCU admin doesn't exist. Okay, so E files HCU admin doesn't exist. Now go for E/ABC some content. Let me go for this folder structure. Otherwise, let me make it XYZ. Okay, let me go for this location E files ABC XYZ, which exists, which location exists. Now give forward slashes, not backslashes. In file system, better to give forward slashes. Okay. Now let us see, will it create the file in that specific location or not? Let's compile, go to the classes, execute the application. Now, has it created the file in that location? Yes or no? Yes, just because the file path or the directory path exists. Now, if the directory path doesn't exist, is it creating a new directory? If the directory path doesn't exist, is it creating a new directory? No, it's not creating a new directory. Okay. Now let us see in this case. Okay, let us see in this case. Now, is the file exists in that space if the file exists? Sorry, whether the file exists in that location F1? The file exists or not? The file exists in this location or not? No, the location itself doesn't exist. The directory structure itself doesn't exist. Let us see. It's compile successful. Now what is this giving? What is giving? IO exception, the system cannot find the path specified. Just because this location doesn't exist. This location doesn't exist. Now, can we tell that mkdir is the only way to create a directory in a file system?
Yes.
Can we tell that mkdir is the only way to create a directory in file handling? Yes or no? Yes or no? If I tell that mkdir is the only way to create a directory or to create a folder in file handling, to tell yes or no? Yes or no? Understood my question? I am telling that mkdir, execution of file.mkdir is the only way to create a directory. What do you tell? Is yes or no? Definitely yes. Just because by using the path, by giving the path, okay, by giving a path to the file, to the file object, if we give a path, we can create only files, not folders. Okay? So, the create new file will create only files, not the corresponding folder structures. To create the corresponding folder structures, we should go for mkdir. The create new file can create only files, not the whole path. Understood? The create new file can create only files, not the whole path. If you want to create a directory structure, definitely we should go for mkdir. The create new file can create only a specific file, not the whole path. This path doesn't exist. HCU admin doesn't exist. But this path cannot be created by create new file method. Create new file method can create only a file, not a folder. Okay? So what I'll do is I'll go for this location and I'll make a directory, okay, and I'll pass that argument as a first one. And the file class constructor is overloaded so that it can take one string, it can take two strings, as well as it can take a file and a string. If it takes one string, what does it mean? If it takes one string, what does it mean? We are giving the path of the file or a directory. If we give two strings, what does it mean? First one is the directory, second string is the name of the file. If we give file object as the first argument, then it means that the file object is representing a directory. And second is the name of the file. There are multiple arguments, then the first argument represents the directory, second argument represents the name of the file. There is only single argument, then the whole path will represent a file system. There are two arguments, the second argument will represent a file and the first argument will represent a directory. Okay? If it is a file object, then it will represent the file object that represents the directory. If it is a string, then it represents the path of the directory. Anyhow, the first argument of the file system will represent a directory. It may be directly through the path of the folder, or indirectly through the file object that represents the path of the folder. Now, are we using directly the path of the folder or the file object that represents the path of the folder? A file object that represents the path of the folder. Okay? Now let us see, will it be created or not? Sorry, it's not it's f1 dot mkdir. Okay? Let's compile, go to the classes, execute the application. Sorry, f1.createNewFile is not a valid location just because f1 is a directory. F2, why? Why is this not created? Else it's you admin. What's the problem? Why it is not creating a directory? It is creating, but why it is not creating nested directories? We'll see that. But it's creating only one folder. Okay, E files admin, and we have created a directory with the name admin, and in that admin directory test.txt is being created. Now let me represent another folder. E files university. Okay, now we are representing a directory structure E files university. So we are creating a new directory, and in that created directory we are representing a file system. Okay, now let me try to create a so the application is executed successful. Files university test.txt is being created in that specific directory. Okay, that's how it is. That's how we can make a directory as well as we can make a file system. Understood? But it could not able to create nested directories. Nested directory means if we give e file slash university slash x slash y slash z, it could not able to create directories. But for that, I think there is a method mkdars. Let me see. Yes. There is a method mkdars, make directories. Okay, mkdir can create only one level of directory. To create multiple levels of directories, we go for a method mkdirs, make directories. mkdir can create only one level of directory. That means create maximum only one folder. If you want to go for n levels, nested folders, then we should go for a method mkdirs, make directories. Now let me give this location e files admin register. Okay, in that location I am creating a file test.txt. Okay, now let me compile the application. Just compile, go to the classes, execute the application. Okay, now let us see e files admin register test.txt. Okay, so if you want to create a directory structure which is nested, okay, that means multiple directory structures in the path, then we should go for a method mkdirs, make directories. If we want to create only one folder, then we should go for mkdir, make directory. Okay, and if you go for mkdir and if you give nested directories, okay, it will create only one folder. It will create only one folder, not multiple folders. Okay, understood? If you want to create nested folders, multiple folders, okay, then we should go for mkdirs. If you want to create only one folder, then we go for mkdir.
MKDIR is also one single folder.
Yes,
So we need to talk about it.
but it's not required. Okay, in general, it can be used, but it's not required. Now I am going for a directory name test-io. Okay, then in the E location I will go for test-io. So just compile, The class is execute application. So in the E drive, there is test-io. Okay, so it can be created. Okay, even a single folder can be created using mkdars, but it's not required. mkdars is not required for a single folder. We use mkdars if the path contains multiple folders. Okay, if this is inputted from somewhere else, let's consider like we have some options like browse. If you have browse kind of options on the UI, then we go for mkdars, just because we don't know. The user may give a single folder or a nested folder path. So in that case we go for mkdars. But if we particularly know where we are representing the folder, then we go for mkdir. Okay. So mkdir for a single folder, mkdirs for nested folder structures. Understood? And this is how we can create files from a Java application, and we can manage the properties of files from a Java application. We have seen how to create a file, first how to represent a file in a Java application, okay, and how to create a file in a Java application, and how to create a folder in a Java application, how to create nested folders in a Java application, and how to create a file inside a specific folder in a Java application, as well as to change the properties, okay, to make it hidden, to make it what we call read only, to get the path, to get the absolute path. Okay, some of the interviewers will be asking, what is the difference between get path and get absolute path? Okay, it's also important question. Like we should tell that get path will give the path that we have provided while creating the file object. Get absolute path will give, okay, the absolute path along with the drive. We may provide, or we may or may not provide the absolute path while creating the file object, but get absolute path always gives the absolute path of the file system. Okay, and once we have seen all these things, this is the basics, how we can access the file system and how we can change the properties of the file system. Once we know how to access the file system, and it's very easy to write some content and read some content from the file system. Now let's see how we can access some existing image files and all. Are there any image files? Desktop, I think there are some image files, right? Now this is what's it? Let's consider like this is a file system, okay? Some file system. Let's consider like this is the file system, right? So now let me convert into forward slashes. While representing them in a Java application, as a convention we should use forward slashes, not backslashes. Okay, now let me give this structure. Now we can represent any file, not even text files, we can represent any files. We can represent any files in the Java application. Okay, now let me not create a file, it's not required. Now if I give f2.size, what it will give? For length, not size, length. If I give f2.length, what it will give? If you give f2.length, what it will give? It will give the size of the image file. It is an image file, JPG file. So f2 the file object dot length will give the number of bytes occupied by that file system. Okay, length method of the file object will give the number of bytes occupied by the file system. If it is a character file, it will be equal to number of characters present in the file. If it is a non-character file, if it is image file or like that, then it will give the number of bytes occupied by that file. Now, what is the class execute application? What is the number of bytes occupied by the file? 22585. Now, what is the file that we are representing? 1906 underscore n. Where it is? No, it's not the first one. 165939. This is the file, no? 165939. So, if you see the properties, what's the size of the byte? 22585 bytes. Now, is it the same printed here? 22585 bytes. So, length method of any file will give the number of bytes occupied by that file system. If it is a character file, then it will be equal to the number of characters present in the file. If it is an image file, then it will be equal to the number of bytes occupied by that image file. Understood? So this is how we can represent a file system in a Java application, and we can change the properties of the file. It will give in bytes. Okay. Length method will give bytes only. And the next thing is how we can write some content into the file, or how we can read the content from the file. How we can write character content into the file system. How we can read the character content from the file system. How we can write non-character content into the file system, and how we can read non-character content from the file system. Okay, that we'll see. Okay, in the next session. Next session will be as it is in the evening, 8:30. Okay.